Hey, yo. Pineapple in the building, literally. So, what's good, y'all? It's been a minute. So, let me, dive into the topics for today. So, y'all, let me see. Let me go back and see what it was. Y'all wanted me to talk about either first loves and heartbreaks, spooky season, costumes and themes, the tribulation force, whatever that is. What is the tribulation force, y'all? Are you talking about like God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit? What is the tribulation force? Okay. Modern movies and messaging, and the ups and downs of parenthood. So I'm just gonna pick from some of those. I guess we can start with. Let's start with the ups and downs of parenthood. First off, as y'all know, I do have a little boy, Oliver. He is my sweetheart. He's such a sweet boy. But before I get into that really quick, I did get my spectacles. I officially have a prescription now for glasses. I have an astigmatism in my left, and I'm farsighted in my right. Go figure. It's been about a decade or so since I've got my eyes checked, but finally got them checked last week. Got my 2 pair of glasses, and I even got some contacts. So, and my contact prescription is kind of weird. So, I ended up getting color contacts, but it's still really weird. And they're not like the outrageous color to where like back in the day when we used to wear like green or blue and shit like that. It's not that. It's not that. But I'm gonna put these bad boys in and see what they look like. But anyways, back to the ups and downs of parenting. So, obviously, kids are a joy. Kids can be a blessing. According to, if you read and believe in the Bible, according to the Old Testament, kids are blessings. Back then, you weren't blessed unless you had children, unless you proved yourself worthy of being one of God's followers and honoring Him and things like that of that nature, okay? So, kids were initially deemed as a blessing. I'm going to wash my hands before I start touching any of this and put God knows what in my eye. But kids can be a blessing. They are to many people. But whether they change your life for the good or make things difficult, children are a blessing in disguise. But the ups and downs of parenting are, it's a joy to have little ones or a little one, and watching them grow, watching them learn and absorb things, seeing how they develop feelings and learn different things, and how they develop their own personality is just so cool. The downside of parenting, of course, is if you have to do it alone. I had done parenting alone with my son for like his first couple of years or so. If you know my baby daddy or my baby daddy is watching this, yes, nigga, I did that shit alone. Don't try to chime in and say you did something and you didn't. Don't do that. So, what we got going on now is, it's whatever. You, as a woman or anyone who is co-parenting alone, it's challenging. It is very challenging. I am not gonna lie. It is challenging. to you because I really relied on the church that I was going to at that time and just God in general because it takes some strength, okay, to do parenting majority by yourself. Kids are expensive, number one. And, well, number two, whatever. But kids are expensive. And even if you do have a well-paying job, kids are still expensive. You want your kids to be well taken care of. You want them to get everything that they need, deserve, things like that. You don't want them going without for any reason. Contact number 1 is in. You don't want them going without for any reason. So if you don't get any type of assistance from the government and you're trying to do things for your kiddo by yourself, it's not easy. It is not easy. But all you can do is persevere and get through those first few years, you know, and just try to do the best you can. Shoot, get a little part-time gig or something like that if you must. But you got to figure out something that works for you and your kiddo. Because as them girls say, I'm a mom first, I'm a parent first, I'm a daddy first. You know, you got to be that first. You got to be that first. If you're a parent, yes, you got to be that first. I say that, but there's some more depth into that. I have both of them in. Can you tell? Can y'all tell if they're like brown? Does it look crazy? Does it look weird? Ugh. My vision looks a little blurry. I gotta get used to it. I hadn't put in contacts since like high school or middle school, whenever it was we were rocking them fake joints. But yeah. Anyways, back to these kiddos. You want to raise your kiddos in a way that you will feel proud of as you get older. You don't want them to grow up embarrassing you. So with some children, yeah, sure, you're going to have to whoop some butt. I was raised the old school way. I got whoopings as a kid. They didn't bother me none. I mean, as a kid, yeah, sure, they bothered me. But as far as growing up into adulthood, they didn't bother me none. I turned out just fine. I got my ass whooped. I wouldn't say plenty of times, but I had my fair share of butt whoopings. I had my fair share. I don't know if I'm gonna like these, y'all. I don't know. But I got my fair share of whoopings. I wasn't like a bad kid, but you know, all kids do bad or mischievous things. All kids do. And some kids are just straight up bad. Now, you can try that gentle parenting crap with other kids. Good luck to you. But you're not supposed to spare the rod. You're not supposed to spoil the child rotten. Some kids need their butt whooped. I'm just saying. But, my eyes are burning. I just gotta get used to these. I may just take them out because, like, my eyes are legit burning. But the great part about being a parent is, like I said, watching them grow up into their own little person. And if you are raising them right, you will be proud of them and the little things that they do to make other people smile or just being a good person all on their own without you around. Like, I know yesterday at Oliver's daycare, at his preschool, he's got this new teacher that just started. And she was really overwhelmed by the classroom because it's more of a rowdier classroom. And so the main teacher took all the kids out just for a break or whatever, just so she could get a little breather. And Oliver had noticed, whenever everybody was leaving, Oliver had noticed that the new teacher, was having kind of a hard time and she was a little emotional. So what did my son do? He went up to her, like he just kept staring at her. And so he went up to her and he was just like, hey, can I give you a hug? And so he gave her a hug. And when I tell you, like, some kids are really angels. My son is a sweetie pie. Don't get me wrong, he's not 100% perfect. But my son is a sweetie pie. And he was an angel to her at that moment. And she just became a little bit more emotional in a good way. But she was comforted by him. My son is only 5. Okay. And he was able to sense, that she was sad and needed comforting at that time. And so that made me really proud as a mom, because I always tell him, and I talk to my son like he can understand, like, because I expect him to understand. You have to break things down. In my mind, you shouldn't limit your child to what you think they can't do or can't understand. Just because he's 5 doesn't mean that he doesn't need to know about emotional maturity, spiritual well-being, God, the Trinity. I talk to my son about a lot of things. I teach him a lot of things because I want him to be spiritually mature, emotionally mature for his age. I want him to be wise and to have discernment. Now, whether you instill that in your kids or not, that's your camp. Do what you do in your camp. Whatever floats your boat, whatever tickles your pickle. This is what we're doing in this household, okay? But you're supposed to raise up a child in the way they're supposed to go. Because you never know when your last day on earth might be, and somebody might be having to raise your kiddo, and you want your kiddo to have the knowledge and wisdom instilled in them from you before you leave this earth. So, wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Discipline and wisdom go hand in hand. They just do. If you don't understand that, that just went over your head. Just that quick. I'm sorry. But, besides that, I don't want to spend too much time on that because it's really self-explanatory, the ups and downs of parenthood. Like I said, finances, if you're a dad or a mom on child support and you are actually doing for your child, okay, my eyes are not starting to burn anymore. Do they look okay? How do they look? But if you are a man or a woman on child support and you are actually doing for your child or don't get the opportunity to see your child or spend time with your child like that, I can understand how that can be super frustrating and a super big down part of parenthood. And I'm deeply sorry. But what I will say is the system was not built for niggas. The system was not built for men. The system was built to pretty much accommodate women. It is very, I would say, difficult to have a child away from her mom. 9 times out of 10, the child is going to be away from the father, and the father is the one that's going to be put on child support, unless it's just some huge drastic thing with the mom. But if you're going through a situation like that, I feel for you. I'm sorry. No, it's not fair, but I mean, some people deserve to be put on child support. I won't go too far in that because it's some more discussion that needs to be had as far as child support itself. But next topic, we are now going to talk about first loves and heartbreaks. Ooh. So first loves and heartbreaks. My first love, I have been in majority long-term relationships. My first boyfriend was, I think it was like a 2-year relationship. It wasn't really nothing though. I mean, I was still a virgin. We didn't have sex at all, but he was my official boyfriend. And I'm sure he was doing whatever he wanted to do. We were kids. We were in high school. Come on now. Let's be real. But that was my first official boyfriend. But I wouldn't say he was my first, he was not my first heartbreak. I didn't have my first real heartbreak until I would say college, because I dated someone before I had got into college, but I wouldn't say that was a heartbreak. That was just more of us growing apart. And that's the thing you have to remember about first loves. First loves, they're not always going to last a long time. Now, some people can be in love and during the puppy love stage and stay in love and get married and have babies and just that's it. Just like old fashioned love, you know. That's how they used to do it back in the day. Everybody used to be like head over heels for each other, marrying early, having babies early, and staying married till they died. You don't see that anymore. The divorce rate is quite high. That's because people like to rush into marriage. People get married without actually knowing who the person is, or people get married just for the sake of getting married. But first loves, sure, go in with all your might. Go in with all the gusto. It is better to love than lost than not to have loved at all. Who said that? I can't remember. I think it was William Shakespeare. I could be wrong. But it really is better to have loved than lost than not to have ever loved at all. Because, I mean, yeah, sure, if you have never loved at all, you are not, you're not hurt by anyone. You're not experiencing that heartbreak, because heartbreak can hurt. There is a such thing as broken heart syndrome. It's a real thing. Look it up. It's got ICD codes and everything. Just like white coat syndrome, broken heart syndrome is a real thing. It is. Look it up. Don't believe me? Look it up. Google is free, baby. But first loves, sure, take it seriously for the time being. I wouldn't say seriously, like you just know you're going to get married. But first loves are fun. I wouldn't call them a fling, because it is like, you know, you're going steady at an early age or just whatever. And you're just head over heels about this person, and they're everything that you could imagine in your wildest dreams at 15 years old, that you just love them with all your heart and all your might, and you want to spend forever with them. It sounds good. It sounds good. Enjoy it. I don't mean to sound cynical, but enjoy it while it lasts. Take notes. Learn yourself. Learn them. And if and when it ends, just have fun with dating. I'm not saying be a hoe. But have fun with dating. Learn yourself. Learn others. Learn what you like as a person. Learn yourself. It's good to stay single for a while. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, some people, if you stay single for too long, you kind of get set in your ways and then don't really want to fuck with nobody. And then when you do finally get somebody, you either run them off or don't know how to treat them, or you act really awkward and you just fuck it up yourself. Tricky subject. Anyways, the first love mumbo jumbo. It's so cute, because there's just a lot that you can get into, and there's a lot that you remember from first loves and heartbreaks. Like, I can think of my first love and heartbreak, and I can now laugh about it. Back then, I was not laughing. I was crying in the corner, and my friends had called into work to help me get over my shit, get over my breakup. And the thing was about it, like, sometimes with these relationships, we can know that they're not actually going to work out in the long run,